you were under tremendous pressure at work or in your businesses or in the organizations that you are working for as a woman in leadership. In this video, I know this happens all the time. It happens to me, it happens to everybody. But in this video, I'm going to share with you a couple of strategies that will help you to navigate these situations, those very high stakes, high pressure situations in the role that you're in. And you absolutely want to watch this video until the end, because I'm not only going to share with you what has helped me over the past 20 years being in senior leadership roles such as a director, a manager, a C-suite executive, and a public speaker, that will help you to not only make your own decision tree to figure out how you want to handle yourself when you are under pressure, but also help you to learn how to communicate under pressure as well. Now, I'm going to share with you just a few strategies today, and there's a lot more strategies I can share with you. So let me know in the comments below if you would like to learn more. But today I have a small amount of time, and I wanted to make sure that I'm helping you all as leaders as you're navigating through this holiday season, because a lot of times you may be under a lot of pressure at work. If this is you, friend, you have clicked on this video for a reason, and you're supposed to be here. And I know you're struggling. I know you have a lot going on, but hopefully the strategy I share with you give you some insight in terms of how you can manage yourself when you are under pressure. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad that you are here. This is a live video. And during the live video, this is a time where the YouTube audience will join the conversation. Therefore, give me just a few moments so that I can say hello to everyone and engage with them. And then we're going to go right into handling yourself under pressure and how you can learn how to speak like a leader. Now, I have a lot of people here on my audience, and I appreciate my subscribers so much. They make the world exciting. They really, really do. And I want to give you an insight in terms of a bit of information about who I help. I am an executive coach and a consultant. I specifically work with women in leadership in terms of my executive coaching and executive consulting practice. However, on the accounts I have platforms on, there are many people that are not in my direct target audience that I provide services to that are my wonderful subscribers here on YouTube. That includes obviously women in leadership. And you may be a woman that's not a leader yet. You may be a man in leadership, or you may be a man that is not in leadership just yet. I guarantee you will learn some universal strategies here, even if you're not in my exact target audience, that will absolutely help you to stand out amongst everybody else. This channel is where you're going to learn these very advanced, higher level communication skills that will help you in your salary negotiations, your interviews, your board meetings, launching your businesses, launching products. They will help you stand out from everybody else. And if this sounds like where you want to be and you're ready to learn how to communicate under pressure, this is the best channel on YouTube for you to be at. Learn from my over 20 years of experience as a C-suite executive, a director, and a manager, and a public speaker and executive coach to fast track your career. I've been on the news before. I have given contributions in different news outlets, and I've also had the chance to work with different congressional leaders on the national level here in the United States, and also locally here in the Sunshine State of Florida. So I am here to really provide you with those advanced high-level communication skills that will help you on your journey. Welcome to all of you who have joined today. I'm glad you're here today. I am so excited to share with you how you can learn how to manage yourself under pressure and speak like a leader. If you're ready, let me know in the comments below. We have Caber 55555. Welcome, friend. How you doing today? Glad you all are present here. We have Ando Dark Room 6779. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you all are joining from today. And let me know. It's the end of 2025, and it's been a year, right? Anybody else has had a very interesting, maybe a bit of a challenging year? I put both my hands up, okay? Both of them are up right now, all righty? So both my hands are up. Now, if you've had a challenging year this year, let me know in the comments below. Let me know where you are joining from in the big, beautiful world today. And also, are you under pressure right now at work? Let me know, because it's the end of the year, and I know a lot of people have a lot of projects they're trying to finish up. All right, let me say hello to everybody, and then we're going to talk about some strategies to help you be able to communicate better under pressure. If you want to learn more about this, give me a thumbs up and stay to the end and subscribe to the channel, of course, because this is where you're going to elevate yourself in terms of how you communicate as a woman in leadership, if you're my direct target audience, or a man in leadership, if you're trying to learn a lot more information too. All right, we have Elvis_Presley_is_cool. Welcome, friend. How you doing today? We have Jesse Jabolinsky. I think I said that right. -I60. Welcome, friend. How you doing today? Jesse Jabolinsky. If I said your name incorrectly, friend, I'm sorry about that. Jesse says, what is your name? My name is Dr. Jacinta. Very nice to meet you. We have Conta.Desativada77. Flamingo. I don't know, but I guess you're talking about the bird flamingo possibly, but I'm glad that you are here today. And we have Caber55555 says, beautiful voice. Well, thank you, friend. I appreciate that. Elvis Presley is cool. Says this year was kind of meh. Nothing too special yet. Understand that. So Elvis Presley is cool. I appreciate you sharing that. What are some things that you're planning on doing for 2026 if 2025 was meh? Let me know what your plans are for 2026. It is about that time, friends. If you're trying to elevate yourself as a leader, we're at the fourth quarter. We're at the fourth quarter. Either we're going to make a touchdown before the end of the year, or we're going to have to start regrouping and getting ready for the following year. So let me know what is going on with you all today. Ando Darkroom 6779 says, you sound like a lawyer. You should be one. Well, thank you so much. Believe it or not, I've done public speaking for over the past 20 years. And I'm not a lawyer, but I've interacted with congressional leaders on the national level here in the United States and on the state level here in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida. And I've been around a lot of people and a lot of policies. I've reviewed bills. I've reviewed legislation. I actively do that now. And so I appreciate that. I'm not a lawyer, but I do have a very small amount of legal knowledge from what I do right now. Christina Gomez 9553. Welcome, friend. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know where you all are joining from in the big, beautiful world today. We have A.R. Jund. How I'm going to spell it, okay, friend, because I know I didn't say that right. ARJUNDHALIW. Welcome, friend. How you doing today? We have KENEZEKIEL 1989. Hello, welcome. I do not want to mess your names up, everybody, so I'm going to sound them out if I can. So we have ARJUNDHALIW says, how was your day? My day was fantastic. Every day I go live with you all is a wonderful day for me. All right, Christina Gomez says hello, and KENEZEKIEL. I almost want to say Kenny Ezekiel. I hope that's correct, 1989. Hi, I'm new. Welcome, friend. If you have any questions as it relates to being under pressure and communicating and speaking like a leader, this is the best place for you, friend. So let me know what questions you have so I can make sure you end the year on a very high note. All right, we have Elvis Presley is cool. I want to go to the Philippines in 2026. Wow, that sounds fantastic. So if you're trying to go to the Philippines in 2026, from an executive coaching standpoint, for myself, I would say, what are the steps that you need to take to make that happen and when? And so if there's something that you need to start working on to make you go to the Philippines in 2026, this is a great time for you to start planning for it. I've found with a lot of the clients I work with in an executive coaching setting that when they're trying to make these big plans, like going to the Philippines, that's a big plan. That's a huge trip for you to make, depending on where you're located. Then there's some planning that goes into that process. What do you need to do? How do you need to get there? That's what I do in an executive coaching session. So love to hear your plans. That sounds very exciting. Kenny Ezekiel says, 1989, I support you. Well, thank you, friend. I'm glad you do. I appreciate you being here. This is the place for you to learn as much as you can. Thank you for the heart emojis, friends, as it relates to elevating yourself in terms of how you communicate as a leader. We have Diane Davis, 8376. Welcome, friend. Hope you are doing well today. Ken Ezekiel says, 1989, it's okay. And yes, thank you so much. Diane Davis, 8376 says, you are so pretty. Well, thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're here. Let me know what part of Big Beautiful World you are joining from today. And are you under pressure right now? Is anybody under pressure with their jobs or businesses at work? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know so we can talk about it. And I can help you learn how to Communicate like a leader, even when you're under pressure. All right, we have Carrie B-N4B. Hello, welcome, friend. And Ken Ezekiel is, I'm from Philippines. Wow, that's great. So guess what? So we have Ken Ezekiel is from the Philippines, and we have Elvis Presley is trying to go to the Philippines. So that is so fantastic. I appreciate you sharing that. Diane Davis, 8376, is go to Costa Rica. Okay, well, that may be something to think about too. All right, awesome. Diane Davis, 8376, I am in Texas. It is God's country. All right. Well, Diane Davis, 8376, what part of Texas are you in? I have lived in Houston, and I have traveled to Dallas and to San Antonio. So let me know. Texas is hot, by the way. Not right now, but Texas during the summertime, it is the heat I have never seen before. And I've lived in New Orleans, and I live here in the Sunshine State of Florida. Texas can be that. It's a different type of heat, right, Diane? It's very, 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 very different. All right, Elvis Presley is cool says, okay, I guess I just need to encourage my family to save more money instead of spending because I don't have a job. I'm not an adult. I just join random people's lives. Okay, well, I hope you come back. Elvis Presley is cool, especially if you're trying to elevate how you are communicating as a leader. I am sharing with you skills that will make you stand out from everybody else, especially as you are transitioning and you're growing in your field and just as an individual. So if you want to learn really how to stand out from everybody else as a leader, this is the best place for you to be. Diane Davis, 8376, says, my dog is a Min Pin and she is my daughter. Okay, well, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. Ken Ezekiel, 1989, says, I have an operation next week. Well, my thoughts and prayers are with you. Ken Ezekiel, take it easy. I hope everything goes well for you. I'll be keeping you in my thoughts and prayers, friend. Diane Davis, 8376, says, about 50 miles north of Houston. So I'm trying to think of where would you be at in that area, but I'm familiar with that. So, all right, awesome. So Houston is a nice place, and 50 miles north is pretty busy in that area. It's probably a little slower, I think, probably going a little bit north of Houston. And Elvis Presley is cool. It says, I got to go. I had a great time here. See you later. Well, I'm glad you're here and you stopped by. I hope you have an amazing, amazing weekend, friend. I'm glad that you're here. Now, I appreciate you all being present today. So let's talk about how to know what you're doing when you're under pressure. Before that, I go there. Let's see what's in the chat. Ken Ezekiel 1989 says, I love all your videos. Well, I appreciate that, Ken Ezekiel. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. There's a lot of great content here that are on my live tab. I have been live streaming so much. For those of you who are new to me here, I live stream so much that YouTube noticed I live stream so much. And so I'm a member of YouTube's live streamer research panel. I'm on the panel for the next year. And a lot of my content that Ken Ezekiel is referring to is probably on my live stream. So I really appreciate you being here and watching the videos, Ken Ezekiel. Definitely, if you can share it with a friend or a colleague that is really trying to elevate how they're communicating as a woman in leadership or as a man in leadership, then feel free to share my information. And for those of you watching, if you're trying to learn how to master eye contact, your tone of voice, speaking better in public, being able to manage your emotions under pressure, we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Doing well in interviews, salary negotiations, developing your executive presence, enhancing your confidence, developing executive communication skills, and being an amazing leader, and on and on and on and on and on. This is the best place for you to be at. Diane Davis, 8376, says, Texas is so beautiful like you. Well, thank you, friend. I appreciate that. And Texas is a very, very, very beautiful state. It's very beautiful, has a lot of great people there, and it is hot. Can be very hot in the summertime, as you know. Ken Ezekiel says, 1989 says, subscribe. So, yes, absolutely. I appreciate y'all being here, and I appreciate the heart emojis too, friends, and the 100s. Now, we talked about being under pressure. And so if you're under pressure right now and in your role as a leader, let me know in the comments below. So let's talk about it. There's a couple things that I have done over the past 20 years as a C-suite executive, a manager and a director and a public speaker to help me when I am under pressure. So I share these very brief insights with you to give you something to start with, and then we're going to talk about how you can speak like a leader when you are under pressure. We'll go through this pretty quickly because I know you all have a lot going on here in the United States. We have Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you some value really quickly. And I know a lot of you are probably getting ready for your families and cooking turkeys. I'm cooking turkeys. Are you all cooking turkeys? And all of those fun things. Now, when I'm under pressure as a leader, a lot of times it can become overwhelming, very, very, very overwhelming. And if you're in that season right now, you're not alone. There's a lot of people going through the same type of stress. And let's get you in the best setting we can. So one of the things that I personally do when I'm under pressure is the first thing that I have to sit down and really process in my mind is what is causing me to feel under pressure. Is it a project? Is it some type of initiative I'm dealing with? Is there some type of deadline? What is it? And so once I identify what is causing me to be under pressure, I have to figure out my next step, which is what's the most important thing I need to do? What is it? Because there's a lot of things that happen to us as leaders that can cause us to feel under pressure. But what I've found is that many times those little things that feel like they're huge are really not that important at all. And I find out what is the most important thing that I need to do to keep my business running, to keep my job functioning, to generate income, to work on a project, or etc., that I absolutely have to do for this particular project. And the next thing that I do is I determine, okay, first, what's caused me to be under pressure? Second, what exactly is really important? What's really important I have to do? Some of the little things are probably not important, even though you think that they are. It may not be. And then third, what systems are in place or what systems are not in place to make this not as stressful? Many times, and this is from me being a C-suite executive for a long time, we do not have the right systems in place to manage specific type of issues. So determine what's missing, what workflow is missing. Maybe there's something that needs to take place before you actually have a chance to look at it. There's something in the system that's broken, that's stressing you out. So we have to figure out what it is. That's what I do initially. That's my personal first three things that I do. But I want to talk to you about how you can communicate yourself as a leader when you're under pressure. But first, let me go to the chat. So we have Kenny Ezekiel 1989, send some hearts. I appreciate that. Diane Davis, 8376. I love the heat. Diane, guess what? Me too. I would much rather be in a hot state than a cold state because I grew up in a cold state. I've lived in North Carolina. I've lived in New York, not only downstate New York in the Bronx, but I've lived in upstate New York where it's cold. And I've spent some time in Alaska also. And I would much, much, much rather be in a hot state. That's why I'm in the sunshine state of Florida. Okay, so Diane says, I love the heat, I hate the cold, but God takes care of me. Absolutely, God takes care of me too as well. IXO Multic, welcome back, friend. High five. Good to see you again. It's been a long time, friend. Glad you are back. IXO Multic says, like 3 greetings. Welcome, friend. Glad you are here. Haven't seen you in a while. I hope all is going well for you, friend. Have a lot of things going on. All right, so also IXO Multic, I want to let you know because he actually has been on the challenge. Sorry, I saw said something about challenge. He has been on the channel quite a bit. So we've reached 500 subscribers since the last time I think you were on the live. So we are at over 500 subscribers. I think right now we're at 547 and you're a part of that. So I'm really excited. Glad you're here and welcome back, friend. Ken Ezekiel says, I need to go. I will come back. No problem, friend. And the replay is going to be here to help you. Also, we're going to dive into how you can start communicating and speaking like a leader when you're under pressure in just a second. So you can definitely watch the replay for that. Diane Davis 8376 says, just think, okay, Godfrey. I was about to say, who is Godfrey? But now I know the correction was thank God for taking your sins to the cross. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yes, IXO Multic, good to have you back. High five back, friend. High five back. Okay, so we talked a bit about what I do specifically in my decision-making tree when I'm under pressure. These are literally the steps that I do as a C-suite executive, or those 3 things that I shared with you a few moments ago. For those of you who just joined, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you're joining from today. And I just talked to you about what I do when I'm under pressure. How do I analyze it systematically in my mind? So we talked about determining what is causing you to feel like you're under pressure. Second is what is really important, because some of the things that you may think are important are not. And those may be those same minor things that are causing you to feel like you're under pressure. And then third, what systems are not in place, or what systems are in place that are helping you not to feel like you're under pressure, or maybe there's systems that need to be put in place so that you are not under pressure or you don't feel like it. Now let's talk about how you can communicate better when you are under pressure and speak like a leader. One of the first things that you want to do when you know you're under pressure is you have to respond to your team or your coworkers, your business partners, and etc. But you have to communicate to them in a way that is very calm and very affirmative. You do not want to be the leader that has bad news that says, okay, the sky is falling. Oh my gosh, everybody, it's over, it's over. You don't want to be that kind of leader, because that's not how leaders communicate when they're under pressure. Well, no, let me not say that. Some leaders probably do communicate that way under pressure. But if you're watching this channel and subscribe to the channel, you don't want to communicate that way. All right, something came up in the chat. Diane Davis 8376 says, gotta go, but sending my love, hugs, and kisses. Well, I appreciate that, Diane. I hope you have an absolutely amazing Thanksgiving holiday in the great state of Texas, right? So I hope you have a wonderful holiday and hope to see you back on the channel. Feel free to subscribe. You'll learn a lot of great information and strategies to help you communicate at a higher level than your peers. So we talked a bit about how you communicate and speak like a leader. Speak in a very calm, very affirmative way. Now, I do want to give you I would say a bit of backstory as it relates to this specifically. Now, I'm telling you to communicate in a calm and affirmative way. However, if you in the past have not communicated with your team in a calm and affirmative way, it is going to be a bit difficult for them to feel like whatever it is that you're saying is real, or what the issue is. So you always want to be working on your executive presence as a leader, because it will carry you those days when you are under pressure and you're trying to figure out what exactly to do. How should you communicate with your teams? How can you present yourself as very calm when in your mind, maybe the sky really is falling? You want to really work on this every single day. Now, before I go into another strategy for you, let me see what's going on in the chat. I see somebody join. Stephanie Powell, CB4TL. Welcome, friend. How you doing today? Let me know what part of Big Beautiful World you are joining from today, Stephanie. Glad to have you here. Stephanie Powell -CB4TL says, I have subscribed. Well, welcome, friend. This is a fantastic place to help you communicate at a higher level as a leader. In terms of my practice, I'm an executive coach and a consultant, and I work directly with women in leadership in my coaching practice. However, on my channel, I have a lot of women in leadership. I have a lot of men in leadership, like IXL Multic is here today. And so I'm here really to help as many people as I can go to that next level. But if you're looking for some customized support, then definitely reach out to me for a strategy session in the description below. Believe it or not, it's Black Friday here. Black Friday means there's huge discounts going on here all over the world, really. And for my business, there's a lot of discounts some of the services are up to 70% off that I'm going to be posting on my website here this week. You will be amazed at some of those. They will really help you on your journey as a woman in leadership. So be sure to subscribe. I know you subscribe to the channel, but you're always welcome to take a look at the community post, because I'll be posting that on the community page this week as soon as I get all the services posted, because I guarantee you there's something there that will absolutely help you. All right, Bunker Wise 215 says, if you were born 2 years ago, how old would you be? I would be old enough, friend. I'm glad to see you here. Welcome. Let me know what part of Big Beautiful World you are joining from today. All right, so Stephanie Powell -CB4TL says, oh, okay. Well, welcome, friend. I'm glad you're here, and I'm really excited to have you a part of the group, just like everybody else. Let me know if anybody's under pressure at this time of the year. Are you? A lot of people are under pressure in terms of their businesses and their jobs and etc. and their roles. So let me know, are you under pressure? So we talked a little bit about my decision-making process if you're under pressure, and now I'm talking about how you communicate when you're under pressure. So for those of you who just joined, we are talking about the latter half of what I just mentioned. When you're under pressure as a leader, whether you are a woman in leadership or a man in leadership, the way you communicate is really important. So you want to be very consistent with your communication. You want to be very calm and very affirmative. Like, this is going to be okay. We're going to work it out. Now, sometimes You may have a situation where things are not going to be okay. And this is a reality that happens as leaders. We are the bearer of bad news, unfortunately, a lot of times. And if that's the case, just try to have that conversation in a way, if you're under pressure, where you're not putting your emotions out on other people. As leaders, sometimes, and I've experienced this myself, we're in situations where we're telling information that we completely don't agree with. Have you ever been in a situation like that? I have been. And when you share the information that you are under pressure about, even though you might have had a very contentious conversation with maybe your boss or maybe your business partner, etc., your team, they do not have to feel that negative energy. How do you do that? The best way for you to do this is to make sure that when you're communicating to your teams and you're under pressure, you take a few moments to yourself before you have that conversation. Why do I say this? Many times when people are under pressure, and let's say they've had a very contentious conversation, they've been put on a deadline, or some type of project has to be completed in a shorter amount of time than what they expected. The response that I see that happens, that a lot of leaders do, and this is a mistake that I want you all to avoid doing, is they will be put under pressure, right? Have a contentious conversation. That contentious, negative pressure energy just travels right over to that leader, and it just consumes the leader. It just consumes them completely. And as it is doing that, the leader feels like they're under pressure. And then they take that negative energy and then they get their teams and say, we have to do this, we have to do that. And all of that negative energy, that pressure that they feel, is going to their teams. And I want you to not do that. And a lot of times when people are under pressure as leaders, we are so at a heightened state that we have a microscope on us, someone's micromanaging us, or etc., that we feel, that feeling we feel like we have to immediately go and talk to our teams and tell them what's wrong. That's what average leaders do. If you're watching this video or subscribe to this channel, then you already know you are an above average leader, and you will not do things like this. No, not watching this channel. That's what I'm here for. If you are under pressure, take a moment to just process what's being said to you. That may be a quiet moment that you have to yourself, or maybe apart from your group. You may be in your vehicle driving from a meeting. Take just a few moments and think to yourself, okay, I'm under pressure. What is the real issue here? And think about it. If the real issue is something that perhaps is related to a system, as I mentioned to you earlier, because a lot of times we're under pressure because there's something wrong with the system is broken. There's something's wrong with the system. And there's a couple people I'll talk about that I actually watch online that talk about systems and businesses that would be very helpful for you to take a look at too. I have two people I'll share with you in a minute that I actually watch quite a bit. And sometimes something's wrong with the system. So when you have that moment to think about what it is specifically, what in the world is bothering you, then you can figure out, okay, this is what's the problem. And you use that same more calm demeanor in terms of what's the problem, and you can take that to your team. So instead of getting that negative energy, that pressure, and you just going off on your team and telling them, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and just taking that energy there, you can say, okay, team, had a conversation earlier today. There's a couple things that we need to work on in our system. We need to work on A, B, and C. And do you all have any strategies to help us improve A, B, and C? I hope you see what just happened there, because yes, I had a contentious conversation, but I'm not bringing that to my team. And this is a great way for you to speak like a leader, because a true leader can manage themselves under pressure, which is why I talk about this so much on my channel. Many leaders do not know how to communicate under pressure, and that is really my mission, to help you master confident communication under pressure, especially as a woman in leadership and as a man in leadership if you're following the channel. All right, something came up in the chat. Stephanie Powell, CB4TL says, can we work on baseline today? Okay, so tell me, I know you said baseline. So there's a lot of different baselines. So I've talked about baseline as it relates to communication, like your tone of voice. I've talked about that. I've talked about baseline in terms of your triggers. So tell me, If you can tell me, Stephanie Powell, specifically what you want to work on, and we'll work on it today, friend. I promise we'll work on it. Just let me know in the chat maybe specifically what you want to work on as it relates to baseline. There's a couple things I've talked about here on my channel that talk a bit more about baselines. I want to make sure that the baseline that you need some support on, that is the exact baseline that I can help you with, so I can make sure you get as much value as you possibly can. Now, while I'm waiting for Stephanie Powell to respond, so I've talked to you a bit about speaking under pressure. This is very, very important. Many managers forget about this, and they're not exactly sure what they should do when they're under pressure. I have seen it. I can tell you countless times where I've worked with people over the years as a director, as a C-suite also, where they've been in a setting where they have been essentially fussed at. I don't know any other way to say it. They've been fussed at, and they take that same frustration to their teams, and their teams feel it, and then the teams will give that frustration to the rest of the people in the group, and then now the whole group is stressed out. It makes a very much of a not positive domino type of effect, and you definitely want to make sure that you are not speaking like that as a leader. Now, another strategy I've done before when it comes to speaking like a leader when you're under pressure is to be mindful of your tone of voice. Now, your tone of voice will help you be able to manage a hard conversation. I talk about this in a lot of the live videos here on my channel. Check out any video where I talk about tone of voice. This is where tone of voice can really help you. When you're under pressure, you have to have a tone of voice that is a bit more positive, that feels more energetic than a tone of voice that is very, very like frustrated and very, very mad. So let me give you an example of this. When you're communicating bad information or bad news or something very complicated to your teams, if you tell them, team, oh gosh, this is like the worst day ever. We lost so much money in our business or so much money in our departments, and everything is bad and nothing's working out. Everybody's going to feel it. They're going to feel like, oh gosh, like, why are we working? Why are we here? Everything is bad. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. The leader said the sky is falling. Now, if you deliver that same information in a more upbeat way to say, potentially, great job, everybody. We're excelling or meeting our metrics or our goals or etc. for this particular area specifically. There's a couple things that we need to work on, and let's talk about a few of those items and get some of your suggestions. Now, my tone of voice is not the sad, all is lost type of tone of voice. My tone of voice is more heavily focused on being upbeat, being positive. You want to do this when you are trying to communicate with your team, especially when you're under pressure, because many people really, really, really do struggle with this. So let me know in the comments below if you've ever struggled with being under pressure and how you communicate. Have you ever made that mistake when you've been placed under pressure and then you start to put that pressure on your team? I've done it, and this is the reason why I want you all to avoid doing it and not make the mistakes that I did early on in my career as a leader. Now, there's a lot of things that I have going on in the business as a whole. I'll talk about those really briefly and see if I'm waiting for Stephanie Powell to respond about baseline. So I'll give her a few more moments to do that. There's a couple things that I want to mention to you all as it relates to my business really quickly for those of you who are still watching. I mentioned to you before, there's some changes I'm doing to my shorts. I haven't done shorts on my channel in a while, so I'm about to do a lot more short form. You're going to notice that on my page. You're going to see a lot of shorts, and I am putting those there because I'm using Opus clips for those of you who are content creators and influencers like myself. So I'm using that to try to make some of my live streams and some of my pre-recorded videos that have higher views to be dissected, so to speak, into more short form clips to help other people gain information from some of them. Many times, and I appreciate you all so much for being on my live today and just being a part of my subscriber group. Many times what happens is that the lives, they may go in different directions. I'm saying hello to everyone, and you may just have a short amount of time to gain information. So I want to make sure that I'm breaking up the information in a way to where you can digest some of it. And then if you want to watch the live, you're welcome to do so. So you're going to see a lot more shorts on my channel. Please don't be alarmed by it. You're going to see a lot. There's going to be a lot that will be coming up on the channel because there's just a lot of information I'm trying to get out there. Second is that I have changed the logo of my business. My logo is not the same logo that it was in the past. It is a different logo. And if you have ever ran a business and if you ever went through the branding process, it feels like it takes an eternity to get your logo. So I have a new logo. You're going to notice that. I will definitely post it on my page. Let me know what you think about it. The logo is very different. It's something you probably have not seen before, and it is definitely representative of the brand I'm building here on my business and with Women in Leadership and with Men in Leadership that are subscribed to the channel and are watching the content too. So you'll see a new logo here very soon on the business. You're also going to see this week, specifically as I mentioned earlier to Stephanie Powell, there's going to be 70% off of some of my very high-level executive coaching and consulting services on my website, which is www.exciteexcellence.org. I am in the middle of posting them right now. I have most of them posted, but they're hidden from you because I have to launch them all at one time. But if you've ever wanted to work with me, if you've ever wanted to work on how you're communicating as leader, maybe if you've ever wanted to be better in a salary negotiation, or maybe you have a conference you're preparing for, maybe you just are transitioning to a new role, a new high level, you're trying to launch a business, you're trying to go to the C-suite, and you know the way you communicate now is not the way you need to communicate to get there. This is really, truly your time to work with me. And I have limited spots for each of the services that I'm going to be offering. I'm going to have all of them listed in a community post over a few days because I do want to help as many women in leadership as possible, especially during this time. I know we're at the end of the year and many people are either trying to get the touchdown by the end of the year or maybe they're trying to elevate themselves and plan for 2026. And this is a great opportunity for you to get some support at a promotional rate because it's Black Friday, and the 70% off that you see, you will not see this probably ever again, maybe in 2026 around Black Friday, but it may not be that type of a promotion that's there. And it's something that I really want to roll out to my YouTube audience and to some of my former clients. If you've worked with me in the past as a client, then you're in for a special treat because not only on top of the actual discount that's there, my former clients will receive an additional discount on top of that. So you definitely want to subscribe to the channel, of course. And then if you're interested in really elevating yourself, work with me, sign up for some services, and you'll have the opportunity to be able to get access to even additional types of promotions or special invitations to special events here on my channel or here just with my business. This is something that will help you out tremendously. One of the very unique aspects that I have about my business is I'm very, very much a proponent of support. I have seen a lot of executive coaches in the coaching space do a type of program where they help you once and then it's like a one and we're finished. And if you want to work with them again, there's a lot of other things that go into it. And I really do help to support my clients that I've worked with, which is one of the reasons why my clients, my active clients, or even my former clients do have access to deeper promotions than everybody else here on the channel and on some of the other platforms that I have accounts on. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of great benefits here, especially this upcoming week into next week for Black Friday for the business. And if you're trying to really elevate yourself and you want to work on your communication skills and master how you are communicating so you can elevate yourself and be that person that can communicate confidently under pressure, then you definitely want to take take an opportunity to look at some special promotions that are going to be happening for a very, very limited time. There's a couple other things that's going to be happening before the end of this year. I'm working on diligently to start a podcast. This podcast specifically, this podcast is a bit different than my business. Now, my business, I focus on executive coaching for women in leadership. That is what my business is. This is what I do, executive coaching and consulting. However, my podcast is going to be heavily focused on hard conversations in leadership. The reason why I'm making a podcast that talks about this, I don't have the name of it just yet, but very soon I will have the name. But the reason I want to do this is that I have been in leadership roles for over 20 years. And the one thing that people struggle with the most as leaders is communication, and especially in hard conversations, in difficult situations. They struggle with that. So what my mission is I'm going to find leaders from various companies all over and have them on my podcast and talk about a hard conversation that they had and what did they learn from it. Because I hope that helps other leaders understand how to have hard conversations. Sometimes we go through hard conversations, we just don't know how to have them because we've never heard somebody talk about it. And there's a lot of different podcasts that talk about leadership and development and etc. But I want to talk about the hard conversations. What can you all learn from these other amazing leaders that have had really hard conversations? What was the conversation about? What did they learn from it? What would they do differently if they had to do it over again? So that's going to be the concept of the podcast. It will help you out quite a bit. So let me know what your thoughts are about that. You'll see my new logo. You'll see a lot more shorts on my page, on my YouTube channel. So just bear with me. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot more people that I want to be able to reach and support here. And so I need to put more content out to do that. You'll still see me go live, not this Friday, just because it's a holiday here, and I'm going to be working on making sure I have everything ready for you all if you want to work together. And then also, podcast is coming up as well. I really want to be able to support you all, so please let me know what topics you want to learn more about. I know Stephanie Powell didn't have the chance to, I didn't see a response back in terms of working on Baseline. So Stephanie Powell, if you're watching this video, let me know what specifically you want to work on as it relates to the Baseline. I know it's a holiday week going into it, and you're probably pretty busy. Just let me know in any of my live videos. I'll try to see if I can reach out to you at your channel, possibly. Let me see if I can make sure. I think you're a subscriber, I believe. So just let me know, and then I'll be able to do a video, either a live video or something along those lines, just for you to really support you, because I want to make sure I'm helping you on your journey. But for those of you who are watching this replay or watching live, if you have any topics that you're dealing with and you're struggling with as a woman in leadership, or maybe you are in a leadership role, then let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to provide you with some support to help you be able to get to that next level and overcome those challenges. Most of the time, people become they just kind of struggle, with challenges a lot. And I typically deal with the hard situations. So if you're going through a hard situation, then let me know. Especially professionally, I'll be able to provide you with some insight and help you best I can. I hope this information has been very helpful to you all. Make sure, if you're new to me, check out my live tab. This is where everything takes place right now until I get some things squared away in 2026. Then you're going to see a mix of not only the live videos, but you're going to see the pre-recorded videos coming back. They're coming back because there's a lot more content. There's a lot more organization I need to show you all and share with you, so you can be those leaders that we need in the world today that stand out from everybody else. If you like this video, check out the videos that talk about tone of voice, eye contact, and managing your emotions under pressure here on my live tab. Those will be great videos to supplement what we talked about here today. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. I am so appreciative of every single one of you that have subscribed to my channel, and for those of you who just decided to stop by to take a look at the video and learn something very insightful today. I appreciate you. I hope you all have an amazing Thanksgiving holiday, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.